Oh. That's just like, oh, my nasal passages. Hold on a second. How's it going, everybody?
What's up, folks?
Welcome back to Crate Talk.
We are back.
We are back. I guess this is season 2.
Okay.
Maybe. Sure, right?
Sure.
It's been a minute.
It'll work.
So
Season 2.5?
2.5. You know, it's Scott.
What's up? It's Adam.
How's it going? And this is Crate Talk. So, we're kind of just going to go. This was the spontaneous first episode right here. So we're just going to kind of dive in and see what kind of things people have been talking about the last week or so.
Okay.
Normally we do film stuff, but I mean, nothing's really new right now that's out for you guys to really care about. Dark Tower came out, but neither of us have seen it yet. Yeah. I might go tonight.
Okay.
Maybe
the reviews have just been too middling, too poor.
They have been.
So I'm like, I will see it. I'm in no rush.
No rush. But sorry, I mentioned it earlier since I brought up Dark Tower. What do you think about now that Dark Tower literally just came out like 3 days ago? They already have a TV show coming out.
I'll believe the TV show happens when I see set photos. The film's not setting the world on fire, so I don't really understand the point of, hey, let's try it in TV series form now, which is maybe what they should have done in the first place. Mm-hmm. So, because it is a lengthy series of, fairly thick books, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Maybe they should have done this in the first place?
I think, yeah. I think a TV series would have been cool. I think a TV series might have been a better look. Right. Personally, I'm of the mindset, I kind of think that TV today, in today's, not 10 years ago, but in today's world of Netflix and Amazon and, the kind of quality things we're getting on television, like Game of Thrones kind of thing. Now, could you imagine if Game of Thrones was a movie?
Exactly.
Like a movie.
Mess, right, one movie.
And then
2-hour movie.
Based on the strength of that one movie, maybe they do a sequel.
Maybe.
But,
or probably not, because that one movie's going to be convoluted and confusing. And still unsatisfying.
And full of movie stars.
Right.
that we wouldn't be able to separate from.
Right.
See, like Lord of the Rings didn't, Lord of the Rings did it, and The Hobbit did it better, but they were like, those books aren't that thick. I got one up here somewhere. Here it is. Here's The Hobbit.
Right.
Look at this. This is the size of a DVD case. You know what I'm saying? This is not that thick.
And they still were able to somehow wring out 3 long movies from this.
Right. From this, and then the Lord of the Rings books, they took each book, made a movie, and they took stuff out of it. And of course, Harry Potter did it. But I think those books lend themselves to be able to do that.
And that's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. We're talking about them trying to find a new Harry Potter, a new Lord of the Rings. It's just them trying to find that next franchise.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, I'm going to say this. I think the franchise era is over. Mm-hmm. I think we're seeing the end of it right now. As the mandate becomes, what can we make a franchise? Everything else is suffering because of it.
Yeah.
Films are suffering. The quality is suffering. I think audiences are tired of seeing the same stories, the same characters, the same actors doing the same things over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Over a period of years. You get 3 good ones out. Kill it. That's enough. You did a great job. You know what I mean? But, when they, and then, and they resurrecting things from, 10, 20 years ago. Come on, stop. Anyway. Good.
No. I mean, I agree with. I mean, I have a lot of things to say about that in particular, but I mean, we'll get to that. But just to close this part out, the Dark Tower. I think Dark Tower would serve better as a premium series.
Right.
You know, as you know, because Game of Thrones is one more season than Game of Thrones.
Right, and then that's over.
You know, and it's like, sure, they're talking about all kind of spin-offs of Game of Thrones, and they're gonna do a prequel series where Ned is young and all kind of stuff like that. It's like I'll believe that when I see it,
right.
But I think Dark Tower is a situation that has its own, its own following.
It's
enough
ready, right?
That you can just take Dark Tower and say, all right, the next big series that we're adapting is gonna be Dark Tower,
right?
And that could be HBO or it could be, like I said, Netflix, Amazon, whatever. I think that when you try to crush all that into a film, and you end up having to live by film structure, then you lose.
Yep.
Because it's like, well, you got to hit this beat by this point in the film, and you got to hit this beat by this point in the film, and there are these beats, you have to hit these beats, and the bigger the movie, the more Hollywood studio production the movie is,
right, the
more rigid they are about you have to hit these beats. Indie films can get away with it because it's like indie films just kind of do whatever they want to do.
Right.
And you like
and there's less money on
there's less money on the line.
Right.
But when it's like, they're dropping in $100 million, then it's like, well, all right, you need to hit 10 minutes in, this needs to happen, 35 minutes in, this needs to happen, ...
And they need to make these films. Every film should be made with the idea that this might be the only one. You have to stop making films assuming that you're going to be able to make two more to finish out this really lengthy, bloated story.
Well, that's what happened. That's what happened to Golden Compass.
Right.
Did you ever see that?
I didn't.
So Golden Compass.
I'm familiar with the story. Yeah.
Oh, it was long. I didn't mind it. The Golden Compass was this film maybe 10 years ago. I could look it up, but I don't want to. And it starred like Daniel Craig was in it.
Yeah.
It was off, maybe I think, but it was off the heels of the Narnia books. It was off the heels of the Narnia franchise, and they thought this highly religious overtones fantasy book. They made the first one with the intention of, we're gonna make like 3 of these, 4 of these. And so the first one doesn't feel like a story.
Complete.
It feels like, where's the rest of it?
Thought.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, they didn't make any more of those. And then even you got The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which overseas, that was a huge hit overseas. In America, they made the first book.
That was it.
It's like
yeah,
we don't want to make the other books, so. That's the end of that.
So, I don't know.
But yeah, so, I mean, neither of us seen Dark Tower yet.
No.
They're making a TV show of it, apparently. Maybe.
Believe it when I see it. That's what he...
I think that a TV show would be a better look anyway.
Yep. They should have done it in the first place.
For the film.
A lot of wheel spinning in Hollywood these days.
A lot of wheel spinning. I'll talk about this. Have you read this article?
Sylvester Stallone led Guardians of the Galaxy spinoff is a possibility.
So James Gunn has been talking about, so we're moving on now. We're going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy, which I actually wanted to get into with the franchise thing. So it's a nice franchise segue into Guardians of the Galaxy. So James Gunn is saying that there's a possibility the doors are open that there could be Guardians spin-offs, within that universe. Like, what's that crew called?
Reavers?
The Reavers? I apologize. But, whatever the Yondu's crew.
Yeah.
Yondu's crew. You find out that Yondu actually kind of was brought on by Sylvester Stallone's character. But if you saw the second Guardians Volume 2, you get a bigger introduction into that world. And I would love to live there. My thing is like, I don't want the Guardians to be in Infinity War. I mean, they are, obviously. We've already seen the behind the scenes. They've been filming for months.
Right.
So they're a part of that story. But I really enjoy having the Guardians of the Galaxy as their own thing. Out there in the cosmos somewhere.
Right.
Because honestly, like the Volume 1, in a sense, it felt to me like this generation's Star Wars. You know, it's like, here's this band of people who kind of get thrust together by this situation they're in.
Right.
And they find bonds and they move forward and they do their thing. And it's like, I want to see their story. I want to stay with them. I want to stay in space and science fiction and, you know, different planets and different creatures and different life forms and just them dealing with their own personal, in their small bubble, in their massive universe. I want to see that. I don't really want to see them come to Earth and then be actively a part of
right. I don't mind if it's just in Infinity War, I'm okay with it. You know, going forward, and I don't think they are, but going forward, if, you know, they keep, you know, Iron Man pops up and Cap pops up, and then that's like, okay, it's a little too interconnected now. Yeah, and I like that. A film like Guardians or a series like Guardians would be the thing I think that will help Marvel stay afloat once the superhero thing kind of goes away. When that trend, which is coming, when that trend dies, I think them being able to move all into sci-fi films, heist films, et cetera, would be the thing that keeps them alive. Oh, do you want to talk about this Wonder Woman thing?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Bring it up. Introduce us.
So, there's this article floating around about that asks the question: is Wonder Woman DCEU's Iron Man?
Because apparently she's going to be in the Flash.
Right. So they're gonna I guess start dipping her in all of these other films. I don't know. I don't think that she is DCEU's Iron Man, because that kind of suggests that Iron Man was the film that kicked off the MCU, and it helped, and it carried the MCU for its first two films before they even branched out and did anything else. Wonder Woman was the third in the series. No, I'm sorry. Wonder Woman was the fourth in the series.
Yeah.
In this series of films. So, nitpickingly, no, she can't be Iron Man. It's DCEU. Iron Man for the DCEU.
I don't think that's what they mean. Again, I didn't read the article.
Okay.
But I mean, based off like the gist of it, I don't think that's what they mean. I think that what it is they're basing that off of more so not specifically Iron Man and his place in, you know, how he kicked off the MCU, and then Wonder Woman, how she kind of came into the DCEU. They're basing it more off of two things. Iron Man was a huge hit, you know, and it was the first MCU movie. It was a game changer. It was the first hit, authentic, official hit for the MCU, you know. And the second thing is that Iron Man then appeared all over. I mean, well, I guess not really. He showed up in Hulk.
He showed up at the end of Hulk.
Showed up in the end of Hulk, and that's that. And he was in Civil War, obviously.
In Avengers, so
you know. So, but I think that they're making a comparison on that level, to where it's Wonder Woman is the first actual legit hit in the DC films.
Well, don't say that. And don't say that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's semantics and it's clickbait and it's stuff like that, and it's just like, oh, she's this. No. What I think what the situation is that Wonder Woman is the first official hit from the DC films.
Right.
Wonder Woman,
just
straight up, flat. It's like Wonder Woman has done better than Man of Steel, plus BVS, plus Suicide Squad, with the side order of fries. You know what I'm saying? Wonder Woman's done better than all of those films, and it's still crushing.
Right.
It's still crushing. And now we find out that, you know, Diana's going to be in Flash. So then they get and she's popping up in here, she's popping up there. Like, well, I might as well say she's the fucking Nick Fury of the DC universe. You know,
which is what I thought Batman was going to be.
Yeah, but, you know, I was like, on the spec of her actually being Iron, you know, doing what Iron Man did and playing an Iron Man role, she's not that. But in terms of her being the first successful standalone character in DC films, and possibly, I mean, honestly, I feel that essentially they're, with the introduction who's doing this? Is Joss doing this? This one Joss is doing? Yeah, Joss is doing this, and then Ron Howard's doing Star Wars.
Yeah.
So Joss is doing, so with Joss coming in, and if you know anything about Joss Whedon's resume and his career, you know, with like Firefly and Buffy and Dollhouse and all that other stuff, it's like he is a more fun, strong female lead centric, empowering, character driven director, you know, and with the success of with the success of Wonder Woman, and then you got Joss Whedon coming in to finish out Justice League, is like they're clearly changing directions.
Right.
They clearly said, "Hold on, we need to back up,
right,
and we need to take that way right there."
Right.
You know, and I think they, without a doubt, like Tony set the tone for what the MCU is. I think that Diana is setting the tone for what the DCEU is going to turn into.
Okay.
So I think in that sense, she's playing the same role in the greater scheme outside of the story that Iron Man did.
Okay.
But no, she's not Iron Man.
So let's pretend Man of Steel and BVS never happened. Okay.
There's going to be a separate show where I'm going to talk about the DC stuff. Because he doesn't watch the DC stuff. So it's pointless to talk about it here. So there's going to be a separate show. This for you guys. It's going to be a separate show where I'm going to talk every week. I'm going to talk about what happened.
Unless you just want me to come on and shit talk. I'll do that.
You can't. Well, I mean, you know, we'll see how it fits, see how it works out. But I'm going to talk about every week. I'm going to talk about what happened on Gotham, Legends, Supergirl, Arrow, Flash, a lot of stuff.
Lord.
A lot of stuff. Although I hear that they might bring Constantine back to Legends. So, Constantine fans, if you like that guy, I liked him. I thought he worked great on Arrow too. They may bring Constantine back to Legends tomorrow. So just something to think about. All right. Got time for one more?
Yep, one more.
One more. We talked about that. Let's talk about this.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
My man,
Sam
Samuel L.
Jackson.
Jackson is coming back to the MCU.
Sam Jackson's going to be...
Thank God.
Sam Jackson's going to be in
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Coming out in 2019.
Captain Marvel. Sam Jackson's going to be in Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is going to be a period piece.
Yep. Set in the 90s?
Is it the 90s? I keep wanting to say the 80s.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in the 90s.
I love the 80s, but Guardians is so 80s.
Right.
But yeah, so Captain Marvel is going to be in the 90s, which will be interesting. Yeah, I'm curious.
I like the idea. Although, I think it's time to...
I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like, to me, it's a...
Because they're backing into it?
Trying to get the word right. Like, canon...
Man, dude.
Canonical. It's a canonical problem. It's a canon problem because, like, Captain America is one thing because Captain America took place in the 40s, and so it's reasonable to and he was a very kind of specialized covert operative. So it's almost kind of like how in the Star Wars universe, people that live on the Outer Rim may not know Jedis even exist because they've never seen a Jedi in action before. You know what I mean? So I can understand Captain America during the war. He was a special ops soldier who did amazing things. And yeah, there were comic books about him, and you know the Can Girl show, but regular folks didn't see him, so he just kind of faded into myth and just was forgotten about until now. But that was in the 40s. Now we're talking about the 90s, which we're basically talking about 20 years before the MCU started. 20 years prior to Iron Man is when Captain Marvel had
her things, right?
So, and there's been no reference of anything specialized in the
before Iron Man,
prior to Iron Man.
But
so
if you remember correctly, Nick Fury does say, and I'm going to have to paraphrase his line, at the end of in the Stinger scene in the first Iron Man.
That camera.
Okay.
That camera.
Okay.
This is a special camera.
The first scene, in that Stinger scene at the very end of Iron Man, where Fury shows up, and he asks Stark, "Do you think you're the first superhero?" Which
You don't think he's just talking about Cap?
no, I'm sure at that time when they wrote that line, they were probably talking about.
Oh,
Cap.
so they're retconning
they
it?
could be sly and be like, well, no, I was also talking about Captain Marvel, and I was also talking about the first Ant-Man, Michael Douglas. So there is precedent for this.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah,
but
I guess.
But they were. The thing is, I think those characters, your Captain Marvel and your Ant-Man, were. I'm going to assume that they're probably going to be. Those were like undercover characters. Those were clandestine characters. They weren't out as public figures like the Avengers.
Well, no, and I get that, but I feel that like Ant-Man lends itself, like Ant-Man and Captain America both lend themselves better to clandestine, secret agent off the grid kind of thing.
Yeah, but we don't know which way they're going
like,
with Captain Marvel though. You know what I'm saying?
They're not going. Aren't they going the recent comic book? Where she has like this mohawk.
No, I mean as
like
far
super,
as as far as what, no, as far as how her character works within the overall structure of the Marvel universe.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying that to me it makes more sense how someone like an Ant-Man or a Cap can be used below the radar. Right now, I'm having trouble imagining how Captain Marvel can be a below the radar kind of character.
Okay, it's the Captain. From what little information I have about the Captain Marvel movie, is that it's going to have elements from the Kree Skrull War, Kree Skrull War, and that's not a war that's fought on the streets. That's a war it's kind of a cold war. It's a war that's fought in the shadows. It's a war that's fought away from the public eye. So
right,
I can kind of see how
it's
it
like
would work.
even that still lends itself to Ant-Man. You know what I mean? To someone who shrinks and it lends itself to characters that don't have powers. You know what I mean? To be able to kind of do covert in the shadow stuff.
Well, as long as we don't see Captain Marvel getting into a fight downtown Manhattan, I think it'll be okay. Or any public arena where a lot of people have seen.
But then it's a waste. You know, it is because it's like Superman. It's like Superman is. I don't want to see Superman being a detective.
Captain Marvel's not Superman.
Captain Marvel's not Superman.
No, she serves a completely different function in the Marvel.
I'm not talking about functions. I'm talking about
character function.
I'm talking about power level.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. I don't want to see an omega level. Super strong, can fly. I don't want to see Rogue. The real Rogue, not the Bryan Singer version of Rogue. I don't want to see her.
Which is coincidentally where the comic book Rogue got her powers from. She stole them from Ms. Marvel. She was Ms. Marvel back then.
Right. But it's like, I don't want to see someone, a character that powerful. I don't want to see someone that powerful not using their powers.
I don't think that we're suggesting that she's not using her powers. I think what they're suggesting is that she was not using her powers on a public level.
But what I'm saying is I don't see how she can be using those powers and not become a public figure.
Well, if she's using her power, if she's so Nick Fury's in this film, would suggest there's going to be a strong S.H.I.E.L.D. presence, would suggest that Ms. Marvel or Captain Marvel was working clandestinely somehow. So her existence is not well known to the public. It's just like your high-level spies. Nobody knows who they are.
Right, but the high-level spies aren't super strong and don't fly. Don't do crazy shit.
Well, okay. I guess. I think you're nitpicking. But
am I nitpicking?
I think you are.
I don't think I'm nitpicking.
You're nitpicking because because there's no script yet. So you don't really know what their approach is going to be.
I'm also not saying that movie sucks. I'm not saying that because I haven't made it yet. And I haven't seen it yet.
You're criticizing choices that haven't really been made.
I'm not criticizing. All I said, and I said it, and you can rewind the tape. I said,
it's live.
In this moment, that was not. I said, in this moment, I don't see how they can X, Y, Z.
Well, then
that's what I'm saying.
You just don't like my explanation.
I don't.
You don't buy my explanation.
I don't buy it. I don't buy your explanation.
All right.
Which is fine. Okay. We can make a bet. Well, we can't. What we're going to bet on though?
Last bet we made was on.
Last bet I won.
You did win.
Last bet I won.
Well, he won a Luke Skywalker.
I won a Luke Skywalker because I said Leia was going to be in Rogue One,
and he was right. I can't. He's right.
You can't do Rogue One without Leia in it.
Okay. So we'll bet this time that Captain Marvel functioned as like a super secret agent. Is that what we're betting?
Yeah, okay.
Is
I
that
think that she's gonna be exposed to the public.
Okay.
And my problem with her being exposed to the public is there's literally no reference to her anywhere.
I agree.
Anywhere in all 14 movies.
That's a story problem.
All 14 movies, all Netflix shows, the ABC shows, there is no reference of her.
That's a story problem, which is why I think she's not going to be exposed to the public eye. Which I think is maybe also an interesting story development is if maybe she's Luke Skywalker is no, he's not. Stop it.
I think he is too. We'll deal with that next week. Next week we'll do some Star Wars shit.
Okay.
Next week we'll do some Star. So yeah, I mean, all right. So the bet. Here's the bet. The bet is that you think she's gonna be on some covert Atomic Blonde type shit.
Yep.
I think there's no way she can avoid being exposed to the public, and unless they're gonna bring in Agent J with a neuralizer to be like, everybody look at this, Flash. I think she's going to be exposed and become public knowledge. That's what I think. So he thinks top secret.
I think that Marvel is tighter with their storytelling than that. And then I don't think that they're going to pretend that, no one knew who she was, and when we were introduced to the MCU in 2008, we're going to pretend that never happened. I don't see them fumbling the ball like that. We'll see.
What
are we betting?
I don't know. What do you want?
When does this come out? 2019?
I think so.
I want a Nick Fury action figure.
Nick.
I'll let you choose which one.
Don't you have Nick Fury already?
I got yes.
You want another one?
Yes.
All right. You want Nick Fury?
Yep. Whichever one I don't have.
Whichever one you don't have.
Yep.
Okay.
Good luck figuring out which one you want. What do you want?
I don't know. We got time.
Okay.
We got time. I gotta think about it.
So I've already said what I want.
I gotta think about it.
Think about it. You should make the right choice.
Yeah, well, there's nothing I'm really feeling for right now. So, we'll see how things kind of play out. But that's what's up.
That's what's up.
All right. That's it. That's the end of it.